Hi there, I'm Ted Alexander, and welcome to the latest edition of Wake Up with Wilder. Today, a special guest. We're changing the title, folks. We're going Wake Up with Washington as ODU redshirt senior quarterback David Washington joins us. Good morning, David.
Good morning.
It's regular season in the books. You're going to the first ever bowl game for Old Dominion. What's that feeling like for you and your teammates?
It's a proud feeling for ourselves and for the program as a whole. It's just a really proud feeling.
All right. The preseason prognosticators were obviously a little bit misguided on Old Dominion, picking you finish 6th in the East. What was that in terms of a chip on your team's shoulder to prove them wrong?
It wasn't about proving them wrong, and I mean the prediction that they had for us, it made sense from the season that we had last year. But I mean, you know, we came out here and we played every week, and we went 1-0 as much as we could. So we just did what we could.
You guys, as an offense, really were an ensemble, the O-line and the receivers and the running backs, and you orchestrating it all. Talk about the unity that you guys had and, therefore, the success you guys had.
I mean, it's a long time coming, from preseason camp to the first couple of games, you know, not doing so well. We've been through a lot this season, and we worked through it, and it looks a whole lot better now.
Contractually, we have to include the coach, Bobby Wilder, in Wake Up with Wilder. So we'll ask him a question. Coach, what has this guy meant to your team and your program?
He has been such a tremendous leader for our team. Everybody knew there was so much anticipation, Ted, coming from the injury he suffered last year at Southern Miss to how hard he worked in the offseason to coming back in August, and everybody was looking at him. You know, he probably felt a little bit uncomfortable in practice because all eyes were on him all the time in preseason. And I'm really proud of the way he progressed through preseason. He had to feel good about himself physically. He had to learn how to play again with a knee that was severely damaged. And to do that while you're playing Division I football, while you're the quarterback, while you're running the system, while, oh, by the way, the first game of 2016, that's your 5th career start you've ever had. Just a remarkable season. Could not be more proud of him, and he is clearly the MVP of this football program.
When you think about all the crazy plays this year, does one come to mind as your David Washington play of the year?
It's definitely got to be that pass to Melvin. The no-look pass.
Shovel.
Right. It wasn't something that I had planned or even really thought about. I was actually about to run out of bounds, and I saw Melvin. I just tossed it to him really quick.
For those that are faced with adversity, like coming back from your severe knee injury, what kind of work did you have to put in? And what kind of patience did you have to have, realizing you couldn't be the real David until you got to become the real David health-wise?
Oh, man. That rehab is something serious. Just doing the same things over and over again and just trying to get better. It takes a big mental toll on you, as well as when you do get back and you feel like you're okay, but the doctors are telling you, no, dial it back a little bit. Coach is telling you dial it back a little bit. And then, you know, you got to wear the knee brace, which you're not used to wearing. But, I mean, all these things are for my health.
Want to wear the knee brace.
I don't always want to wear it.
A couple days we had and not to mention, Ted, the Coach Whitcomb quarterback school.
Yep.
The last 12 months.
Trying to learn how to slide.
And that's a lot more difficult than one might think when your instincts are to do everything but slide.
Right, and when you don't know how to slide. You know, if you slide, you could always hurt yourself. But I've gone to the Coach Whitcomb school, and if I do slide, I kind of know what I'm doing a bit now.
But more than just the Coach Whitcomb quarterback school, my point is to the fact that he spent from the time we moved him last year to quarterback in the Charlotte game when he went back, when you think back to last year in October. So the last 13 months, he has literally spent almost every single day of the year in that room next door here, my conference room, with Coach Whitcomb, studying quarterback play. And he has totally immersed himself into being the best quarterback that he could be. And we're talking about a guy who came in at quarterback, then went to wide receiver, then went back. And how much time he put in that people don't see. Even some of our own players don't know what he did the last 13 months. That speaks more to him than just what you see on the field. That commitment off the field to be the best quarterback he could be. And when you look around the country, he's one of the top 2 or 3 guys in the nation in touchdown to interception ratio. For a guy who's been doing it for the last 13 months, that's pretty special.
A lot of pretty good quarterbacks in Conference USA, but if your league ballot, all league ballot, doesn't include number 10 from Old Dominion, maybe you should go back and look at some of the numbers. Guys, one last thing for you. David, first bowl ever for Old Dominion. It's got to be exciting in the weight room, on the practice field, and when you're sitting there on December 4th figuring it all out where you're going.
It is. It's a very exciting feeling, especially around here, around campus. It's an exciting feeling. And, I mean, we're just ready to go.
Coach, bowling for the first time, that's got a nice ring to it.
It does. I think about the things that have happened, Ted, over the course of the last 8 years that we've been playing when something's history. And there's been so many firsts. And he's been part of a lot of it over the last 5 years. Think about his career and some of those fifth-year guys with him. You know, the first ever championship in 2012. He was part of it. Now the first ever bowl game in the history of the program. And the point I made to these guys, Ted, 20 years from now, when their son's old enough to understand who they were, this is what they're telling them. These are the things they're saying to their kids, and it's an unbelievable feeling to know that we're doing this.
Gentlemen, appreciate the time this morning. Monarchs 9-3 in 2016, 7-1 in Conference USA, and waiting for that first ever bowl trip. For Coach Bobby Wilder and David Washington, I'm Ted Alexander. Thanks for watching this edition of Wake Up with Washington.